This is like well known. I mean, my favorite is there's an article actually that I recommend people reading from 1990, produced by actually a Stanford professor or researcher. It's called, I think, from the dynamo to the computer. Okay, check it out. So dynamo to computer. Okay. And it looks at different technological revolutions and how long it took for them to have impact on productivity of the economy. And it's just, takes just forever. Like when the PCs came out, the joke was the Nobel laureate economist, Richard Solov said that computers or PCs, you can find them everywhere except in the productivity statistics. It just doesn't show up in the statistics. Why? People were buying PCs and they were using them as typewriters. So they would have people type on PCs, but then print out the sheets and then put them in folders and then have assistants that index them and do things. So you didn't see any productivity gains from it. And same thing with, if you look at the Industrial Revolution, same thing happened. We had these steam engines and the steam factories were sort of super dense and they were running with these, they were called the line shafts, which were these things that rotate. When the electric engine came, that's a dynamo, it took 40 years before they saw any productivity gains in the economy.
Wow.
Check it out. This is in that article. It took from 1880
The diffusion took 40 years.
From 1880 to 1920, when the electric engine came, to see impact. So what they were doing is they were going to these factories that already were these line shaft factories, that were these dense factories where you have a steam engine that's rotating this line shaft, and it's rotating these belts, and then everything is working. You have these multiple stories. And all they did is just like the PC, they used it as a typewriter, they would replace the steam engine with an electric engine. And that doesn't just like replacing the PC with it. You don't get any productivity gains. It took till 1920, but maybe it was 1915, but I'm roughly right, until they realized, wait, we have to change the whole factory floor. We have to move the factories out of the cities. We have to have floor plans that are much bigger because now we can distribute the electricity. Electricity is much more, it doesn't, it's not like the torque that has, inefficiency.
Right.
We can spread it out, we can have floor plans that are big, and we can run different parts of the factory at different rates. Unit drive versus group drive. Took a very long time. That's what's going to happen, same thing now. Right. Rewiring, I know it because I have 20,000 customers, and I talked to them. I was late to this meeting because I was meeting one of the CEOs of one of the big banks, and same problem. He has the same problem. All the organizations I work with have the same problem. They're like, I'm not seeing any advantage. I don't see... They're all like, AI is amazing, it's coming, it's like, I need to do that, but they're like, I don't see any productivity gains in my organization. What the hell am I doing wrong? And I tell them we have AGI, and they're like, what? That is not true. We don't see anything.
It's a very tough problem, because you're like, hey, I got the brain, but I got to rebuild the human body. The hands, the legs. Let me give you an example from Databricks. So Databricks helps you get data from all the different systems, like Salesforce, Workday, and so on, collect them in one place, secure it, and then do AI on it. You can do predictions, you can build predictive models. That's what Databricks is. So we built connectors to all these systems. These connectors it would take us 3 quarters to build a production connector. We're good at this is what we do for a living. We build these connectors, we can build a connector from Databricks to Salesforce, production ready. It would take us 3 quarters, so 9 months to do that. Shipped, secure, with so on. That's what we did. So, as the LLMs got faster and faster and faster, I started sort of experimenting with this myself. And I was like, I could write a connector in 2 days. So I went to the team that builds this, and I was like, hey, I can do this in 2 days. How come it takes you guys 3 quarters? They're like, okay, great point. Let us come back to you. So they went, and they thought about it, and they came back in 2 weeks, and they said, okay, you're right. But you're also not right. We looked at it, and this AI is useful. We can compress it down from 3 quarters by 1.5 months. So we can get it from 9 months to 7.5 months. That's it.
I'm like, well, I can do it in 2 days. They're like, no offense to you, but this is production code and it really actually works. And we have customer feedback and it's secure and you wrote some toy. God knows what that. I mean, no offense, you're great, but let us.
What's the missing link?
So I was like, man, this is kind of depressing, but I'll take the 1.5 month improvement and maybe it's something, but maybe I'm just stupid and I don't get it. Then I found another guy in the company. We went to him and we sort of said, hey, can you look at this problem? And he's very first principled. He's a very smart guy. And he doesn't care about all this, fluff. He's like, he cuts through the fluff. And he cut through the fluff. And he worked with a team. And they came back and they said, hey, after looking at the problem, we can do 7 connectors in 1 quarter.
Boom.
Yeah.
Let's go. What is the difference?
So what's the difference? Okay, so what he did is he went from first principles with some team members, and they looked at it, and they said, okay, first quarter, they're just sending our very expensive, very smart, Stanford-educated product managers out to the customers to talk to the customers and collect feedback. What exactly is your requirement? How do you use Salesforce and so on? That takes a full quarter. At the end of that quarter, our amazing, smart product managers come back with like a 60, 70, 80-page super nice report on exactly all the requirements. Okay, so you're blocked for a whole quarter. So for sure you can't, Amdahl's law, you can't compress it below that. Then code writing starts, but we have to test this stuff. So testing requires you to set up Salesforce, Workday, NetSuite, but those are not software by Databricks. So we're not very good at that. That takes a very long time, and it's hard to find people to do that Databricks. So that, again, is like a process that takes a long time for us to stand up, and it's very error prone. So we couldn't do that either. And then we have one person for each connector. They go on vacation, they get sick, so on, so all of that. So what he did is he just from first principles looked at it and said, we're going to just rewire all of this. And lots of people didn't like this. They were unhappy about it. But he said that, the product requirements, instead of 1 quarter, we're just going to take 1 week and quickly write down whatever we have. We might get things wrong, but because the software is so fast to write, we can rewrite it again.
Right.
So let's iterate faster. Standing up the Salesforce instances, let's outsource that to firms that can do that for us, and we can just pay them a lot and they do it in parallel. So we can shrink that as well. And then 1 person per connector, let's change it. Let's have 7 people, 7 connectors, and then they all work on all the connectors together. So we don't have what's called, bus factor 1. If someone is hit by a bus, the whole project is not stopped. Right? So got it all done into 1 quarter and 7 connectors shipped, and but this had nothing to do with, really it didn't have anything to do with AI or AGI or smarter models or super intelligence or gigantic, you can have the next, GPT-7 or Opus 6 would not have helped us do this better. We needed to make those changes. And that's like a human refactoring problem and process change. And so this is what the whole world is going through. So
100%.
That's what you need to do well if you want to succeed. Some are doing it better, others are not.
Hamilton Helmer actually talks about this quite a bit, actually. So for all of you who are picking assignment option 1 and want to be investors, Hamilton Helmer's book is a must-read on process power. We were debating this before this. If Ali, you had $100 to invest across what Jensen calls the 5-layer